Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and do a review of the Beyerdynamic DT70 IE. I was actually really interested in these because these are known for mixing and critical listening. So what I'm going to do is, give you my thoughts from the very first moment I wore them to my final thoughts. And often what happens is, different things change my perspective as it goes on. In this case, there was a drastic change. And it's really silly, but I think we'll just go through it, and just kind of, and you'll get a sense of kind of what's going on. And there is a hint right here. You'll be able to tell, but anyway. I'm excited. These took a long time to get here. This better be damn good. I go, oh wow, it comes in a nice box, right? And I go, LOL, the earbud literally rolls off the table. So it literally rolled off. So this is very, very tiny. So I'm like, this literally rolled off the table. I was joking around, right? And I go, wow, these cables, they're next level good. And that's actually one thing I want to say. The cables, the construction is really well done on this. I'm not sponsored by Beyerdynamic. I bought this with my own money because I was curious. And what I said was it's snug, it's comfy. You know what I mean? And so what I do is I do my first test track. It's Genevieve Naive.
It's so long since I've been free. Location of.
And what I go is, whoa, these are sorry, this is important. This is actually very important. I go, whoa, very few tips, right? The tips look like sure comply. So basically, there's a small, and a medium, and a large, right? And so I'm just like, okay, it looks kind of like this. So these are like the large, and these are like the smalls, and so I'm like, okay, let's try to work with it, right? So I think I tried the medium. I don't remember which one it was, and I go, whoa, these are way bassier, like 20 to 30% bassier on the song Genevieve Naive, right? But the bass is just too bassy, and then I'm going to fast forward through this. And there's a reason why I'm fast forwarding through the pages, because you'll start to realize this. There's this critical mistake I made, which undermines almost all of this. And then I say, the bass is really muddy, and I say, it's just way bassier all around, right? And I'm like, this is even bassier than the Truthier Pure, this is so the Truthier Pure kind of is known for being a little bit more warmish. So I'm saying it's even bassier than that. It's bassier than the Creative Artvanas. These are bassier than the M50X, and this is just a bass cannon, and I'm trying to work with these ear tips right here. I'm like, man, how do I make it so it sounds okay, right? And what I usually do is okay, let's try swapping to Tang Sancai, because these tips usually will add a little bit of brightness to it, right? So I try the yellows, I try the greens, I try the blues. It's still muddy, and I'm like, oh no, this is not good. So then I go, okay, let's try Divinus Velvet. I'm just skipping because this is just too much. You don't need to hear me going tip this, tip that. All you need to know is it's not working, right? So I'm trying the Divinus Velvet, and I'm like, dude, this isn't working, man. I'm trying the Divinus Medium, I'm trying all these. It's just no matter what I do, it never sounds good, right? So I'm going back to, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just settle with the Divinus. the default small tips, which are these right here. And what I'm finding is with the default small tips, they're just still too bassy. I'm not happy with the bass on it. And then I'm just like, damn, only one ear tip worked. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, I'm kind of leaning towards keeping it because it's so comfortable, right? And then I do this test all the time, right? And this is important because you're going to start to see something different later on. I go, okay, let's go ahead and check my own voice. So I get the microphone and I go, no. This is too much low end to my voice. It's not accurate. It sounds like I'm one octave less, as in my voice sounds deeper. And then I'm saying it sounds like my voice is going through an ethos. So it means it just, when I'm using these ear tips, my voice sounds deeper on these, which is basically, this is not accurate, right? And then Too Long Didn't Read. This is the Shure 840A of headphones, right? Or of IEMs. So I'm saying, so the Shure 840A, they're kind of more bassy in terms of, I would say, IEMs. Headphones. And I'm saying these are basically the Shure 840As of IEMs. And then I'm like, wait, there's more ear tips, because I actually was about to return it, but it was actually somewhere hidden in here, and it wasn't obvious. I think the way the shadows or whatever, like I swear to God, I couldn't see it. And there was more ear tips, and I was like, what the heck? And that changes like everything. And so what I did was I used the coffee silicone ear tips, which kind of look like this. And I went back on all my old tracks. I checked BB Weekend, the bass, which is my bass test, and the bass is clean and punchy. I went back and I checked in Genevieve Naive. Everything sounds perfect. I go back and I check, everything's clean and full and accurate. And I say it's like Endgame. I checked this song by Justin Bieber just to see. I like to see how male vocals sound, and I'm like, there's none of that messy sub bass anymore. It's clean, it's accurate, and I'm like, this is Endgame. Then what I do is I go back and I check. I'm getting excited now at this point. I'm like, what the heck? Because it's almost like it's like a whole new experience. And I'm like, okay, let's go check the Mariah Carey sibilance test, because that thing is important, because it is a track that is actually sibilant, and I want to see whether it's hiding her sibilance or whether it's correct.
To go somewhere, so can we make this quick?
Yeah.
Thanks.
And it actually, when I did the test, it was she passed it. I mean, it's showing the sibilance. I test these 3 songs. Female vocals all are correct. And overall, just basically, then I do the voice test, where I check my own voice, and I'm like, dude, it's spot on. It's spot on. Usually when I check my own voice, I'm usually like, oh, it's like a little bit bassier, a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter, a little bit bassier. But like, this is the one time where I'm like, when I'm actually speaking through the microphone, I'm like, that sounds correct. That's like spot on. In other words, these are accurate. And it's crazy because it really came down to an ear tip, it's just, I didn't know that these were there, but overall, I would say these just sound like amazing. Like I actually, I know I'm using non-technical terms, and it was hard for me to do this review because in the beginning, I actually spent a lot of time. I actually was going through, and I was spending a lot of time, but I was spending a lot of time on a mistake. And then later when I found like, oh wait, this is actually the wrong ear tips, and I put the right ear tips in, and it started to sound correct. And then it's kind of like, it's hard to make that review interesting, because when everything starts sounding perfect, what do I say? It just sounds perfect. Like that's exactly how it was. Like everything sounded perfect afterwards. It was like weird. It was like, what the heck? Like female vocals sounded perfect. My voice sounded accurate. It detects sibilance. It's accurate. There's soundstage. There's like, the bass is punchy and clean. Nothing sounds thin. Nothing sounds like, if it's sibilance, it's because it is sibilance. In other words, these are super accurate. But they're not too accurate. You know what I mean? These are, but they're also, there's a lot of fullness in the voice. This is like, I gotta say, I mean, this, like I said, when I go and check my voice, it sounds like my voice. You know what I mean? Like it's not, usually sometimes with other IEMs, I'm like, it's a little bit too bassy or a little bit too thin, or just, this sounds like my voice, like to the T. And that's telling, because that means it's pretty accurate. And I would say the one which got pretty close to that is actually, here they are, the Mach 60s. You know what I mean? So, and that's actually kind of like a point of contention I wanted to say here, is like, there was a point where I go, dude, I'd rank this up there with the Mach 60s. Like these are like, oh man, it's tough. You know what I mean? What a change in events, totally changed it. And it really came down to just ear tips, but those are my 2 cents. This is my first review of this. I will most definitely have more reviews of this, because I will be keeping this. And sometimes when more time comes on and I digest the headphone more, I come back with more thoughts. But that's all I got to say. You guys have a great day. Okay, bye.